Hey guys, this is Eric. I'm back with Don. We're going to talk about LLCs. Don, one of the questions I have is in regards to dropping one of my properties into an LLC. When I do that, is that enough? Am I safe? Or are there additional steps I have to take to make sure that I'm protected from any liabilities?
So what does LLC stand for?
Limited Liability Company.
Okay, good. I'd say there's probably 3 or 4 common things that people make mistakes on with the LLC. So if you have an LLC, it's really simple to form one. You can go on the Virginia State Corporation Commission site and form it within 3-4 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Pay $100 and change, and you'll have that thing formed. And that's where people often stop, because it creates what's called articles of organization, which shows the state that, hey, I formed the Eric LLC. From a legal perspective, the concern I have is that doesn't really show that you've done anything. So if I took you to court, say I was your tenant, I sued you, and you said, well, as an LLC, you can't get to my personal assets. It's called piercing the corporate veil, which is to basically get through the LLC to get to the person or people behind it. And if you have just an article of organization from the state, no operating agreement, no bank account, no tax ID, then you're leaving yourself open for liability, because the judge can say, well, look, this is just a scam.
Yeah.
You didn't take the time to actually operate this thing. So I tell people, look, form it on the state, obviously. You want to have an operating agreement. You want to have a bank account. You want to have a tax ID number, and actually, do something with the LLC. And with respect to the money that moves out of the LLC, you have to be really careful about how you do that. Because I've had clients that have, they take their LLC card for the Eric LLC and they go and buy groceries. Well, if you do that,
Yeah.
right, you got to bifurcate. You got to say, this is the LLC and this is my personal.
I'm sorry, bifurcate?
Bifurcate.
Okay.
That makes me feel like I'm a lawyer. Yeah, just separate them.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the questions I had, I now own multiple rental properties. I know, I'm very proud of myself. Should I drop the properties into one LLC? Should I split them up, and why?
Well, I mean, and this is a question we get a lot, is kind of comes down to how much you want to protect yourself. So if I have one LLC that has 4 properties, if that LLC gets sued, all 4 properties are exposed. If you have 4 separate LLCs, then you would really just be suing the one LLC with the property. It's a pain, right? So if I say to you, legally, you got to have 4, well, that means you got to form them 4 times. You got 4 separate bank accounts, 4 ledgers, 4 meetings. You know what I mean? It gets complicated. So if there's a point where I think the number gets so high that it would be almost crazy to have 10.
Yeah.
But 2 or 3, it's 6 of one, half a dozen of the other. Pick them. But from a legal perspective, yes, all separated.
And so within that, separate banking accounts as well, like for each LLC?
Yes.
Okay, labeled accordingly. What do you think some of the benefits and some of the challenges are for our clients when they're buying or selling a property with an LLC?
Okay, well, if you're buying, if it's cash, no big deal, right? You do whatever you want under cash, not whatever you want. You understand what I'm saying?
Sure.
But if you wanted to borrow money, I think it'd be pretty difficult for a bank to lend an LLC money that has no assets. So if you have an LLC that has other properties, perhaps you could get a loan based on that. But if you're coming in with a brand new LLC, it can be difficult to borrow money. And then when you're selling, the challenges that we typically face is, say, the Eric LLC sells the property. Eric may want the money to be sent to him directly, which we really can't do. We have to send it to the LLC. So you got to have that bank account.
Right.
The other thing that's for both of them is documents, getting documents from the LLC. I need the articles of organization. I need the operating agreement. We want to see evidence of a bank account on the seller side. So it's just getting your clients prepared to deliver those documents. And if they don't have them, how do we get them? And we can help them along the way there.
Last question I got for you is in regards to title insurance, and I know that there are 2 kinds. We've got the standard policy and we've got the enhanced policy, and I want to say that as a buyer with an LLC, you're not allowed to purchase the enhanced policy, and it's never been very clear to me why, so I want a little bit of clarification on that.
What a nuanced and intelligent question.
Thank you.
So the idea behind it, so if you have the enhanced policy, you get what's called mechanics lien coverage. So if I have a contractor that comes in prior to me owning the property and they place the lien against the home for not receiving payment, the policy would protect you in that scenario. When you have an LLC, from a title insurance perspective, the inclination is, well, the LLC is going to be used for something. And a lot of times LLCs are doing flips. Will they be hiring the contractors? And if they don't pay the contractor, we don't want to offer them mechanics lien coverage for something they create.
Right.
So it's a little bit of hedging the bets on the side of the title insurers to make sure that everybody's protected in this scenario. So as long as you have an open conversation with the person that's closing, I think it works out great.
Okay, thanks man, appreciate it.
All right.
Bye guys.
Bye.